Howdy. Today we're going to talk about Twitter and marketing on Twitter. Twitter's my favorite social media platform. I like it because it's the only platform where I could put something out and have someone talk to me pretty quickly. Can't do that on Facebook, can't do that on LinkedIn, certainly can't do it on Google+. I love YouTube, but let's face the fact here. How often have you left a comment, if you leave comments, and had someone immediately write you back? Doesn't happen. But on Twitter, it happens often. So let me tell you how I market on Twitter. What I do is I use TweetDeck. So anytime I create something new, what I do is I post it twice on the day it comes out. Then I post it every day for the next 4 days after the first day. And then I skip 2 days and I post it one more time. And then at some point during the rest of the month or, within 30 days, I will post it again. And then sometimes I come back to it. And the reason I do it that way is because I have a whole list of articles over a 4-year period that I like to show from time to time. If I leave a blog post open for someone to have a comment on it, then I like to reshare it. I only leave my comments open for the equivalent of 4 years. So anything older than that gets removed. If you can't leave a comment, I figure why leave it out there. I also share my YouTube videos. I do the same process initially with YouTube, and that's how I put it out there. And I don't get back to the newest YouTube videos as often. But still, I put those out there. If I'm mentioned somewhere else, I put it out there. If someone interviews me, I put it out there. If I write a guest post, which is very rare that I do it, but if I do, then I put it out there. The exact same process all the time. I also share other people's content. And I share 4 or 5 different things at specific times every single day of the week, including Saturday and Sunday. And I share stuff throughout the day. I come across something I think is interesting, I share it. Something I do that I'm not sure a lot of other people do is if I think there's something that someone I know will specifically like, I will share it with them as well. So this is basically how I do it. It's not overdone. One of the few things I started to do is posting things at 1:30 or 2:30 in the morning, sometime around there, because I recognize that, yeah, I may be getting ready to go to bed, but some people across the world are actually just getting up and they may see something fresh and they may look at it. So I've expanded a little bit. Now that's how I do it. And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be a pest, which is why I did it that way. But there are some things to know about Twitter. Twitter moves fast. I mean, truthfully, if most people don't see it within the first 30 minutes, they're never going to see it. It's just not going to be on their radar unless they have you on a list. And I'm on a bunch of lists, but I'm not really overwhelming on a lot of people's lists by comparison. Then again, I'm only following about 1,400 people. So, that's me. I have more than that following me, and I have more than that who have me on different lists. But still, I'm only following about 1,400 people. So that's how I do it. But I've always wondered if I should step up my game a little bit more because I'm looking to get known, a little bit better. In steps this guy named Jeff Bullis. And Jeff Bullis is kind of a big name in social media. He doesn't write most of his blog posts anymore, which is irritating to me because most of the time I like to go to someone's blog to see what they wrote, not what guest people have written. I'm just weird like that. Unless I know the person, I don't share anyone's guest posts if I know about it. And I say that because, when I'm going through Flipboard, sometimes I come across an article that I'll share and then realize that someone else wrote that article and I may share that, but intentionally, I don't do it. So, anyway, Jeff Bullis came up with this article called How I Break the Twitter Rules and Get 108 Million Impressions. And that sounds, pretty good. I ain't getting 108 million. And this was basically over a 3-month period. So he shared this infographic, and this is what he got. He got 27 million, and rounded off, impressions. He had 280,000 engagements, so someone reacted to it. He had 64,000 retweets of the stuff he shared. He got 1,181 replies, so someone actually wrote him back on that. He got almost 57,000 likes. He got 49,000 clicks, and he got something like 8,000 profile clicks. I'll tell you the truth. I'm not really sure what the difference is between a profile click and a link. And what I'm thinking is that someone saw that and say, hey, let's go check out who this Jeff Bullis guy is. So he did that over a 3 month period. I mean, this is kind of what he averages. And so how did he do it? Well, this is where I want to compare what I do to his and then put it out to you to, ask you what you think. Because some of these are similar. Well, there's only mainly three that I'm going to talk about. One is automation. So he uses this system where he doesn't even select what it is. Basically, what he does is he's got this automated system that has all these different times. And like I said, he's breaking everything out in 15-minute increments. And he has categories. And so what the software does is it goes through his blog and it selects what it's going to put out, and it puts it out there in 15-minute increments, which basically says that it may not be things he's written, but he doesn't care because it still gets them to his website. So I use TweetDeck, but it's all manual. I have to go in and I have to put in the things that I want to go out whenever I want them to go out. So his is automated, but I guess if you're putting something out every 15 minutes, 24 hours a day, 365, I guess you need a little help. But I'm not sure that I would want to go that route, but maybe you do. And by the way, I'm going to put the link down below because YouTube doesn't let you link in the cards to someone's site unless it's approved by you. So I'm going to put his link down below. So if you really want to see more about it, you can. So that's one of the things he does. And like I mentioned, this thing about posting to Twitter every 15 minutes, something I don't do. I don't do almost any posting when I'm asleep. And I say that because there are times when I go to bed a little earlier than other times, so in which case, in those times I'm doing it. And I have stuff that posts early in the morning, even though I may be gone somewhere. I mean, as a matter of fact, almost every new thing I create is posted early in the morning. And that's unless I've got two things going on the same day. So that's me. And then what he says is he posts the same content 6 to 7 times a month. So now what he does is he's actually spreading his stuff out a little bit more than I do. But all my stuff comes with that first week because a lot of other people who recommend different ways of advertising on Twitter say to try to capture that first day. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of them who say that you should probably be posting 10 to 12 times the very first day that you create something because that's when you get your biggest buzz. I'm not so sure about that, but there's people who say that. So when you're talking about the content 6 to 7 times a month, I'm kind of close to that. Although mine basically is the 7 times in the first week and then maybe some other time during, a 30-day period. So it's not that I'm all that far away from them except for that every 15 minutes thing. Now, here's the other side of that. He's Jeff Bullis, and I'm not. And like I told you, I have about 4,000 people. You know what? Let's find out. I'm just looking this up real quick so I can give you an accurate number. So I have, oh my goodness, I'm getting close to 5,000 people following me. But I'm only following 1,288 people. Let's look at Jeff because I hadn't done this beforehand. So let's see. He is following, oh my God, he is following 235,000 people and he has 565,000 people following him. Now, you know that thing we were talking about engagement, where he's talking to people, 1,181? You're following 235,000 people and you're talking to 1,181 of them. That's a pretty lousy ratio if you ask me. Now, the impressions, I'm going to tell you the truth. Impressions really don't mean anything. Yes, it looks good, but you know what an impression is? If you're on Facebook and you're scrolling through your feed and something goes through your feed, whether you click on it or not, that's considered an impression. If you visit a news website, and I'm going to tell you don't do it, but if you do, and you happen to be on a page of a story and there's an ad that pops up, that's considered an impression, whether you click on it or not. But they use impressions to get other companies to pay for advertising because companies think that impressions actually mean something. It's one of the biggest scams in marketing. Yep, you heard it from me. So if anyone ever comes to you about impressions, you don't care. You want clicks. I have a local site here that I've been on since, 2003? And they'll send me something, tell me how many impressions it gets. But actual clicks, I don't think it gets 50 clicks a year. So, but it was free. So it's not a big deal. So, it's one of those kind of questions where you say, okay, is it right to kind of bombard people with tons of stuff? Or should you basically back off a little bit and give people room to breathe? And it's a tough call because whereas you want to be seen, You don't want to be a pest. You don't want to take too much time out doing one other thing because, you want to market in other places. But how much automation is good? Those of you who've seen my videos or maybe read my blog or even follow me on Twitter know the biggest gripe I have are auto DMs. I hate auto DMs. If I friend someone and I get an auto direct message, the hidden messages thing, I immediately unfollow them because it says in my profile, do not auto DM me. Now they started doing it on LinkedIn. I delete people. And it's a shame because the people who are doing it are people who are local. And I usually connect with everybody who's in my local area. But if you're sending me an auto DM on LinkedIn, nope, don't care. I haven't really met you. If you're someone I've met, actually, no one I've already known has ever done that to me. So, I doubt that's going to happen. So I asked those of you who are using Twitter, and you know what? By extension, let's just talk about LinkedIn. Let's talk about Facebook. If someone would post an exact same time, multiple times, over and over, and all you saw in your feed was their stuff, and it's not really even just their stuff, because like I said, Jeff Bullis doesn't write most of his articles anymore. Someone else does. But if you kept seeing that, would it drive you nuts? Or do you think that it's a great tactic because there's a whole lot of other people out there besides just you that you can market to? Let me know your thoughts on this. My name is Mitch Mitchell. I hope y'all are having a wonderful Saturday. And what is this? 7 in a row? That's not bad. You take care.